This is Josiah Plays Tyranny. Alright, we're still here at the mountain spire. And I'm just talking to companions, is really all I'm doing. I'm just talking to companions, but I wanted to take a quick break from talking to companions to do a little more shopping. Like, I wanted to talk to Revos right here. Hey, Saito, how you doing? Welcome back, good to see you again. Just wanted to quick save and quickly... Maybe I was thinking about some of these armor types. Maybe I was just thinking about that. And maybe... I was thinking about... getting some reduced recovery time. I kind of want to see what all of these look like. I don't want to see what they look like, just out of curiosity. But that's what the leather one looks like. It's not bad looking. This is also a leather one. Oh, that one's kind of cool. And this is the cloth one. If I wear the cloth one, I get a lot lower recovery time, but man, I lose 10 points. You know, it's not worth it. With this, I get half a second or less recovery time, but with the other one, I get 4 points of armor and 10 points of deflection. 10% of deflection. It's just not worth it to go to cloth. Alright, I don't actually want to buy those 3 sets of armor, so I'm reloading my save. Hashtag save scum! Some save scumming has to take place. Shopping and chatting with your friends, just some of the fun things you can do in Barbie's Fab Tower. OMG, did you see Ken in that armor? I know, right? He's totes cute. Don't know why he wants us to call him Barrack now. Totes, he said. Man, I wish I could put my feet in some Gara Rufa fish. When I was in Athens the last time, I went to a fish spa and got my feet eaten by Gara Rufa fish, and it was fucking awesome. My feet felt so amazing afterwards. Now my feet are like some kind of horror show pieces of old leather on the bottom of my legs. They're all dry and calloused and hard. Gara Rufa fish would sort that shit out for me. Yeah, I don't think hagfish is really what I want. That's more eating than I care for. Why is this taking so long to load? I literally am just loading the same scene that I was already in. What's the problem here? You never know. Sometimes you do a load in this game, it only takes a few seconds. Other times you do a load and it takes forever. You don't know which you're going to get each time. You know what I'm saying? I really respect games. I really admire games that let you quick load your quick save, you know, quickly. Games where you hit quick load and it takes fucking this long. That shit ain't cool. 2016. Come on. Oh, are hagfish a thing in the real world too, Saito? I didn't know that. Oh, look. It finally decided to load. How nice. Finally decided to load. 1, 4. Oh, I get the difference between them. No, there's no difference between them. There is no difference between these two other than cosmetic. Alright, I ain't buying none of this shit. I ain't buying it. Well... maybe.
Right.
Piss off! Oh, it's you, Fatebinder. I'm so glad to witness your face return. I swear it. What'll it be, boss? Let's see what's in stock. I just like looking at the offerings at these places and imagining buying some of these goodies. Bloodthirsty gloves, enraged on kill. Scarlet Fury armor. No, forget it. No more shopping. Juan Sin 27, welcome back. Good to see you again. Like on the Swindler's got nothing for me. Alright. Kenrick? Doesn't have anything for me. We just have some camping supplies. Fine. Let's do some more talking to our people now. That's what we're gonna do. So where are we at? We're still talking to Ab, aren't we? Like a beautiful angel turned inside out? That doesn't sound glorious. That sounds gross. Alright. Eb, let us speak some more.
What is it you need? Ask away. We all know how to swim, and we all know how to fight. Most Northmen are lucky to make half that boast. What would you like to know?
What happened to Versa's chest? Hey, what's up, Quebec? She's got an she's wearing a thing that on a man would just give her a completely bare chest. It's just a strap across her chest and nothing. But since she's a woman, she's got an undershirt, a little undershirt on underneath there, and that's what that is. That's her fashion style. Alright. What of the major resistors to Kairos' rule?
Kairos made swift work of the Tears, destroying most of the great armies of the Younger Realms in a few short years of war. Of course, queens can be bowed, captains slain, but we are a proud people. I think Kairos will find the stubborn remnants of the Tears hard to eradicate completely. Was there a particular group you wish to discuss?
Tell me about the Unbroken.
The Unbroken is the name of the military of the now fallen realm of Stalwart. Every citizen of Stalwart was trained to fight, and all were expected to answer the rallying cry of the Regents, the ruling small council of the realm.
The Regents.
A decade ago, Stalwart was the ass end of jokes Tearsmen would tell each other. The people of Stalwart are obnoxiously proud of a long history of being invaded, but never losing. The disfavored put an end to their vaunted record of victory. The Unbroken still persist, albeit marginally so. The disfavored withdrew after the Edict of Storms began shredding the landscape. Their holdfast of Sentinel Stand Keep was never taken, and the citizen army, though scattered, could still be rallied.
We've read about the Unbroken before. They were never beaten while fighting on home soil, but then they never had to fight an edict before. Edict, kind of an edict move. Alright, so I have a feeling we'll end up recruiting the Unbroken to our cause. Tell me about the Stonestalker tribe.
Kairos' war was disastrous to the human realm of Azure, but a stroke of good luck for the numerous beastmen that toiled in Azure's endless wheat fields. With the Masters all dead, the serfs have been set free. The Stonestalkers are a tribe born from these newly freed beasts. I imagine they would never bow to Kairos or the Archons. Too many generations have been enslaved. I'd wager anything they'll die before they ever bow.
I don't understand how they could have ever enslaved the beast in the first place. If these beasts are so huge and powerful and totally badass, how did they get enslaved by scrubs with bronze weapons? Unless magic was used to enslave them somehow.
Beastmen understand strength and leadership, but it's always in the concrete sense. I can't pretend to know how they think, but I could never imagine them accepting an absent prima. A distant ruler they can't see or smell seems a bit too abstract.
Tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood.
The Bronze Brotherhood is one of the most feared and famous of the Free City mercenary companies. They serve the highest bidder, and during the war, that was Kairos.
Okay, now unlike these other groups, we've actually met the Bronze Brotherhood now. They're the ones that are at Lethian's Crossing. We've actually talked to their leader. He's the one that we met on the way to town.
Most of the Brotherhood perished in the war, but a handful. The crew hired to work at Lethian's Crossing. They got to babysit the Forgebound and survived the last few years with minor losses. The band is too small to be a serious threat to the disfavored or the chorus, but they are scourge-worshipping berserks that will adopt any enemy for the right price. Maybe even Kairos.
Scourge-worshipping berserks. That sounds pretty tough. Are there other remnants of the younger realms that could still rise against Kairos?
Several sages came to our aid during the Second Battle of Vendrian's Well. I at first thought they meant to kill me, but instead they put their lives on the line for us.
The edict that defeated the Unbroken was an enormous Samuel L. Jackson in a wheelchair. Oh, I remember that movie. That movie wasn't very good.
They spoke of others in their guild braving the Edict of Fire to salvage lore from the burning library. Though I may find them untrustworthy, it must be said that the sages have a certain fearlessness toward the Overlord. Perhaps that could be kindled further.
Oh, speaking of the burning library, so a couple of times I made the joke that the Scarlet Chorus was basically like if you passed out weapons at Burning Man. Well, the funny thing is, I was reading the guidebook, and it says that they actually have a cohort within the Scarlet Chorus called the Burning Men. And they literally light themselves on fire and then go running into battle. Because they're just crazy. And most of them die. Like every single battle, most of them die. And even most of the ones that survive end up dying anyway because they're left behind and they die of infection. But there's this one dude called the Censor who's actually survived 5 battles lighting himself on fire. And he's like this crazy, super tough, you know, fiery dude. And he's at the Burning Library right now with a group of Scarlet Chorus, and they're the ones that are like guarding the place. So I have a feeling if we go to the Scarlet Library, which is with the Scarlet Library? I mean the Burning Library. I have a feeling if we go there, which we're going to because it's already marked with the location on the world map, that we'll probably meet that dude. We might even have to fight that dude. But it sounded pretty cool. Why would they do that? What practical benefit could that have? Well, I mean, as shock troops, I mean, you could break up an enemy formation pretty well by sending a bunch of crazy burning people running into their midst. Now, why would the actual people be willing to volunteer to be the ones that light themselves on fire? Well, you'd have to play up. You'd have to play to crazy people and, you know, get them to be fanatical and basically convince them that they are awaited in Valhalla. Catapult them? Yeah. Well, why catapult a person on fire when you could just catapult, you know, a big fiery ball or something? Why not? Some people voted Trump. Good call, Quebec. Plenty of crazies to go around. Let me guess. Lantry jumps in right now.
Having been part of the surrender faction within the school, I'd concur with that point. I thought the Edict of Fire would finally kill their defiant streak. But no, the sages still refuse to bow. We can and should mind their passion.
Ah, so still some defiant sages. Siren, oh yeah, Siren magic would work too. You'd definitely get him to do it that way. Well, aren't there like substances you can put on a person that would allow them to have flames on their body, burning whatever substance is on the outer layer, and have some layer underneath that that's protecting them from the fire, at least for a short period of time? And even if there's not such things in the real world, hypothetically there could be in this magical world.
Historically speaking, an alliance with the School of Ink and Quill is just asking to have your efforts stolen and your goals undermined. Mark my words, some things never change.
Like war. War never changes. Well, they probably do light themselves on fire right as they hit the enemies. They're probably coated in flammable shit. They've got fire in their hand. They go running toward the enemies. Just before they get to the enemies, they ignite themselves. And they go running all crazy into the enemy ranks. And then right behind them come the other soldiers to take advantage of the chaos and broken formation of the enemy. I don't know. That's how I'm imagining it in my head. But she doesn't really trust them, of course. All right, let's get to what we're doing here. Would you rather they be our enemies?
Well, perhaps we can shove them in front of the enemy. And the ones that volunteered at Vendrian's Well weren't all bad.
Let's change the subject. Oh yeah, doing it with animals, that would certainly work. Actually, did any of you watch Marco Polo, the show? It's a really fucking good show. They do that at one point during season 2. They light a whole shitload of horses on fire and send them running into the enemy camp, and it causes massive havoc. Well, yeah, but the Scarlet Chorus just uses people as fodder. Saito, I mean, that's actually, if they have heavy losses every battle and they don't really care because that's less people they have to feed. And then they just get new people that they take from the countryside or that they take from the losing army or whatever. It would suck to be one of the people that have to be the Burning Men, though. Yeah, Quebec, that's what I'm talking about. Marco Polo's a great fucking show. Great show. Alright, let's go back to Ab here. What can you tell me about the different nations of the Tiers? Before Kairos came, the Tiers were the younger realms, the Bastard Tier, and the free cities, in about that order of prominence. We all trace our roots back to the Five Wives, though sometimes a bit of ancestral shoreline seems all we have in common. Tell me about the younger realms. Haven, Azure, Apex, and Stalwart have been the four major forces of the Tiers for the last 4 centuries. A few other dynasties have tried their hand, but all eventually were defeated or absorbed into the 4 we know today. Not sure when the term younger came into fashion, but it's always been a term of humble contrast. Just look at the old walls. Someone was here before us and built them. Don't know really anything about them, but it stands to reason there used to be an older realms that did all the construction. Before Kairos came, the Tiers were the younger realms, the Bastard Tier and the free cities, and about that... Oh, she just said this. Overcompensating with women in this storyline? I don't know what you mean, Quebec. Tell me about the Bastard Tier. It's the northernmost of the Tiers, and the choke point to the Northern Empire. It's been a hub of trade for centuries, and a long line of merchant families and private armies have kept the realm largely lawless. Though many used to joke about the Bastard City being sacked by rabid dogs, Tunan's capture of the city was a terrible blow to the morale of the Tiersmen. We knew that day Kairos was more than just a fun story to scare your kids. Before Kairos came, the Tiers were the... Oh, she just said this again. She just keeps going back to saying the same thing in between topics. What can you tell me about the free cities? There is little free about the free cities save for their independence from the younger realms. They are not physically adjacent, but rather politically allied by their shared hatred of the other realms. Most all of the free cities were defeated with little effort by Kairos' forces. Way I heard it, Nerat just had to have agents hire up their mercenaries and order them to simply be elsewhere when the armies of the Overlord arrive. Before Kairos... Oh, every time she gets me with that line and I start reading it again. Okay, we get it. Before Kairos came, there were some realms and shit. You guys scared your kids with stories about an implacable overlord who massacres thousands in a drive to conquer the world? Yeah. Be a good boy or Kairos will come get you! And then, you know, joke's over when Kairos actually comes to get everybody. Let's change the subject. Let's change the subject again.
Ask away.
Alright, finally we get to ask her about herself. Now that we've softened her up with all the small talk about all the other topics, now we take it personal. Tell me about yourself. What would you like to know? Tell me about your name. Well, I was born Hazen Lavenja, but for most of my life, and I suppose for all the days after, I'm known and will be known as Ebb. Tidecaster Ebb for those trying to be obsequious. I have also probably used a bunch of aliases that are going to haunt me at some point. Hazen Lavenja? Alright, I like Ebb better. I'm glad we're calling her Ebb instead of that. Hazen, didn't realize you were nobility. I know, I trust myself and cook my own food. So misleading. Mother was a magistrate of Ardent. Father was admiralty. It's mostly meaningless, though. Our lands are now the overlords. How'd you get the nickname? It's one of those not especially funny jokes that stuck long past its season. I wrote the word Ebb incorrectly on a written examination. Master Fullback started calling me Ebb from then on. He claimed it fit me. Said I was a cynical little shit that always sees the ebb, never the flow. Okay, so she got her name from a misspelling of the word. So that actually makes sense why it's spelled that way. Because she misspelled some shit once and they never stopped making fun of her over it for the rest of her life. That seems quite realistic. That sounds like the kind of things that people definitely do. Let's change the subject. What would you like to know? Did you always want to be a tidecaster? So, when I was a little girl, what I really wanted to be was a marine. The burly bitch at the prow of a trireme. First to crack some skulls when the ship's rammed. You know, an honest living. Fortunately, the school sought me out before I got myself killed at sea. The School of Tides was looking for new blood, and my father was an admiral of Haven, so the school wanted me for the political connections. I got to spend my first couple of years proving I actually belong with the Tidecasters. That was fun. What would you like to know? What did you do in the years before the war? My husband was born in Apex. Oh, she had a husband. New information. And he left his prosperous lands to be with me. So, when the nest was empty, it seemed right we leave my homeland and see his side of the tears. Wait, did she have kids? When the nest was empty, that implies that at one point the nest was not empty, which implies that she had kids. How old is Ebb? We had a year and a bit to ourselves before the war upturned things. We saw all of Apex. I took him along all my old sailing routes, around 5 wives and sunder. Those were good times. Then came the war, and I learned I would be one of the last Tearsmen to live free of Kairos. Ever since then, I think Oathbreaker has technically been my chosen profession. Tell me about your family. Oh, because I have loyalty too, she'll talk to me about it. Trying to salt old wounds. They're all gone, but if you really care to know, I had a husband, 3 kids, siblings I didn't hate. Every family has its troubles. I was lucky that awkward and stilted dinner banter was the worst of it. Tell me about your husband. Pelox Aldenos and I were married in 410. Aldenos was a Falksman of the Vendrian Guard back before they were starving partisans, but I saw him more as a carpenter. Woodworking was just a hobby of his, but my fondest memories are of him trying to shape something, and me making stupid jokes about the firmness of his materials. Oh-ho! Scandalous. Firm materials. What became of him? In what horrible way did he die? He perished at the gates of judgment. I saw him die. I do not wish to discuss it, just know I've made my peace with it, and am glad I was with him on the field of battle when his time came. I miss him, but it might have been for the best. Though he was only a few years older than me, my studies left me always a bit younger than him. The difference grew with time. Aldenos was slowing down and half figured the Gates of Judgment would be his last battle. If anything, he got exactly the death he wanted. So in that sense, I'm very happy for him. Nox says hashtag firm materials. Tell me about your children. There were the twins, Dravenor and Lorma, then my youngest son, Akamas. Aldenos wanted more, but I was nearing the end of my trials at the School of Tides, and dueling with lethal magics is a terrible idea when with child. Yeah, I would think so. If you are pregnant or expect to be pregnant, do not duel with lethal magics. Ask your doctor if dueling with lethal magics is right for you. He expected her to say he died eating her 3 children, choking to death on one of their bones. No, that's what it would have been like if Verse had children. Drevenor and Lorma followed my husband's trade and took to the Falks. Akamas liked the harp more than people. Can't blame him one bit. Oh, so Akamas was a spoony bard. I made sure my children could read, and I'm damn proud of that fact. Probably the only thing I did right. What of the twins? They died at the Gates of Judgment. Or at least Drevenor died, run through by a disfavored spear. Lorma was at the battle, but I don't know what became of her. My fear has been she was recruited by the Scarlet Chorus. Perhaps she has a new name, if she's still alive. Oh, that'll be fucked up if we run into Lorma and she's a Scarlet Chorus person. Yeah, Verse is hella nuts. She is the craziest person in the party, for sure. What became of your youngest? Without Drevenor and Lorma, Akamas, well, he never quite took his own life in 430. Ebb shrugs, her eyes glancing far away. Ah, another musician killing himself. I should have put him on a trireme and shoved him out onto the high seas. He did not ask for birth, nor did I prepare him for the bitterness that life would offer. He didn't ask for this. I don't know about Jack from ME2, Quebec, because I haven't played that, but... I'm very sorry for your loss. Spare me the sorrow. We've all lost family to Kairos. I just lost 2 in one battle, but even then, I'm hardly unique. Actually, I didn't lose family to Kairos. According to my background when I made my character, apparently Kairos gave my parents a whole shitload of money for some reason. And they, like, worked for him or something, or worked for her, and we were, like, favored, and I got this great education, and I got to travel the world, and everything was fantastic with my family and I, actually. So, can't really relate to your situation. I've heard that Mass Effect 2 is the best one out of the trilogy. That's what I've heard from several people. I certainly wouldn't play it without playing through Mass Effect 1 in its entirety first, though. Let's change the subject again. What of the rest of your family? My family's Haven folk through and through. My mother prided herself on being descended from a Hazen Rabban, one of the founding magistrates on the city of Ardent. She looks to the side, mouth twisting in thought. Sad thing is, they died during the conquest, but that's not how I lost contact. I lost contact because magic and travel became my life. I had plenty of time to get to know them as an adult, but I simply missed it. Well, this happens to everybody. But that one's my fault. I can't rightly blame Kairos for everything. Not so sure I believe any of this. You don't seem all that troubled.
Well, I'm an accomplished liar, but I've no need to spin a tale about any of this. My husband, most of my kids, my parents. Kairos' thugs took them all. If I don't seem broken up, it's because I'm not. I don't feel such things anymore.
Or 47 time. You sign your magic with a great deal of anger.
I like to think of it more as well-refined rage. But amusing you noticed it all the same. Hate is akin to an acid, a poison of the heart that consumes most from within. And like any fluid, if you know how to hold it, you can apply it.
Alright. So she's going to attack people with her heart acid.
It's a trick of the trade, I suppose. One's surges and dry spells of emotion are no different than the rhythms of the waves. There's a shared logic to taming both. Sadness, mania, rage. I suppose I have these things. But they're just humors in the blood to be pushed, needed, and restrained as the situation demands.
That sounds scientific as fuck. Let's change the subject. How did you fall in with the Vendrian Guard? In times past, folks of Apex would run us out of town if they saw 2 or more Tidecasters congregating. But war makes strange bedfellows. To the Vendrian Guard's credit, they knew they had to rely on their neighbors. I only wish more of us joined the cause, and sooner. She could be a guest on Josiah's kid show. It's fucked up. It's to my shame that many of my peers were cowards. If the whole school had met the enemy as a unified force, best not to overthink it. He waves her hand dismissively. Why were the Tidecasters reluctant to fight? Too much navel-gazing, not enough of vitriol. Or that's my guess. A century of relative peace and calm meant we had become a guild of too many musicians and poets. Too much spooniness, in other words. If the people of Apex were so hostile, why come to their aid? Though the School of Tides has no official claim to the land, we consider Vendrian's Well to be something of a sacred realm. It's more than a landlocked circle of mountains, it's sort of big bowl of peculiar waterways. Besides, my late husband was from Apex. I know he'd have joined with the Vendrian Guard had he lived long enough, so I need to honor his passion and do this for him. Yeah, they could have been a unified force all getting killed by an edict together. Let's change the subject. What would you like to know? I don't think I want to know anything else. Let's change the subject. Yeah, I think we're done, actually. Eb? Good talk, though. Good talk. Let's return to our travels. Alright, I think returning to our travels is a good idea. I still need to talk to Siren and Kills in Shadow, but I might just hold off.
Good day, Fatebinder. It's always nice to see you.
Siren smiles and blushes at her words. I think I'll just hold off until the conversation is ebbed. Nice, Nox. I'm gonna go do some more actual adventuring, and then we'll talk to Siren. And then after that, we'll talk to Kills in Shadow. I don't think I want to do any more buying and selling right now. Oh, I do want to do some selling, actually. I got some shit to sell right here.
Easy as can be.
Well, here's my thought, okay? We know that the old walls are full of ancient magical shit, and the spires. Ancient magical shit that nobody understands. We know that Kairos has one type of magic that no one else has, which is edicts. We know that there's these ancient magical shit in these walls, and that Kairos has forbidden anyone to go into these walls and mess around with that ancient magical shit. Putting 2 and 2 and 2 together, I would think, hey, maybe if we do a full court press on these old walls and spires and try to figure out this ancient magical shit, we can actually learn how to counter Kairos' magic, and that's the only chance we would actually have of ever beating Kairos. Every focus should be on all personnel get to the old walls now. Go to old walls. Fucking find all the shit. Decipher all the shit. You know, study all the shit. Until we can figure out how to defeat edicts. And yet that doesn't seem to be a big thing that people are saying we should be doing. Unless Kairos is trying to stop something worse from getting out. Ooh, I didn't even think of that, Saito. Kairos might be protecting the world from something worse than Kairos. It could be just like in Masquerada, where the lady was like, I gotta do a bunch of horrible shit now, but I'm doing it to prevent another apocalypse like the apocalypse that wiped out my people. It could be the same thing with Kairos. Maybe something horrible wiped out all the civilization that created the old walls and the spires, and Kairos is actually just trying to protect the world from that shit happening again. So Kairos could actually be the ultimate hero. Masquerada, it's a really good game, Quebec. You should look into it. It's called Masquerada Songs and Shadows. Just Google it or something. Nox or Saito will type the name into chat so you can see how it's spelled. I'm sure they will. What if it's not the walls though, bro? Misdirection? Well, the walls slash spiders? The secret is in the spiders! No, the spires, I mean. I was thinking about just getting Verse some better stuff here. But I don't know. I'll save my money. I keep going back and forth on this buying stuff. I'll save my money. I just want to sell some crap. There we go. All right, let's go. I'm heading back to Lethian's Crossing. Heading back. All right, no new items. I know exactly where the secret is. No, I don't. Alright. Burning Library. Oh yeah, we're going there. I mean, not yet, but we're going there. Alright, here we go. Back to Lethian's Crossing. 2 days, 7 hours. Hold on. I want to try to time this so that it's daytime when I get there. Okay, right now... it's like 7:17 at night. So if I travel right now, I'll be getting there at like 2 in the fucking morning. What if instead, I cleverly come over here and rest first? Very cleverly. Now I travel there, and it should be daytime when I get there. Oh, the answer's been inside me the whole time. Yeah. Yeah, most def. Wonder if I'll get ambushed again. The power of friendship, yes. That's all we need. The power of friendship. I wonder if I can use my spells that are already on my bar if my lore goes too low for me to, you know, meet the requirement. Because that's going to be a pain in the ass. If I rest, I'm going to lose 5 points of lore, which means a whole bunch of spells on, well, at least 2 of my characters, my main character and Siren at least, will no longer be usable. That would suck. Then I'd have to go in and change every spell to have a slightly lower lore cost. That's what I'm saying, Saito. There's a perfectly good castle down below that they could just be in. Why are they all... Why would I sleep up there, especially? Why would I sleep on top of that thing when I could just be sleeping down in the fucking castle below? I should no, because if I test it out, then I'm going to have to reload my save, and it'll take fucking 20 years.
Right.
Alright, we're back here. There are many merchants that have very good stuff that I'd love to own, but I can't afford all the merchant stuff. Alright, so there's the place where we went and got Siren a second ago. Can you imagine how cold it is up there? I know, right? There's fire pits, yeah. That'll take care of you. It's a fine day, as long as you don't think about the armies beyond the horizon or the Bane lurking within the old walls. That is a lot of water mist coming off these waterfalls. Do you know how dangerous this would be? Do you know how wet and slippery these fucking logs would be, constantly sitting in that water mist? I mean, people would be falling on this thing all the time. This one too. And then they'd be falling down onto these rocks and hurting themselves. It would be a nightmare. Just saying. People don't think about safety in fantasy games. Safety first. We already talked to Merchant Helena. Ah, there's Ringdropper Saratha. We were told to talk to her. She's the one that's in charge of the Bronze Brotherhood here right now because the actual leader is absent. Hold on, what did Merchant... Look at that little pig. What did you have? You have beautiful things. Exquisite leather armor. Oh man, that's nice armor. Really good. Nobleman's sandals. Oh yeah, she's got this girdle that I was gonna buy too, but I'm not gonna pay for it just yet. Man, playing up on top of the monkey bars is what it was all about. Oh yeah, the real leader is Eldian. Well, Eldian's is the elder of the town, who's basically in charge of the town, or is at least their main sort of leader type figure, where she's the one who's in charge of the mercenary company, or at least, you know, acting in charge of the mercenary company. What is this place? I wonder if this is an inn or something. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and speak with someone else if you got questions. I'm not gonna tell you who, just someone. I don't give a shit who. Like, they could at least tell me to speak to Saratha, but no, just someone else. I don't care who you talk to as long as it isn't me. Alright, look at the little pig just cruising through here. I like how the pig has stats. You can't attack it. It won't let you. Why does it need to have defenses? Why do I need to... Why is its magic defense so fucking good? Look, that pig has double the magic defense that Verse has. Why is Verse's magic defense so low? That's really, really low. Oh, because she has an 8 resolve and 11 wits. I see. Look at Siren's magic defense. Holy shitballs. She's not even playing. She's like, please cast spells on me. That will tickle. The weird thing about the defenses, though, is magic defense, you would think, oh, it's magic defense. It'll protect you against all the spells. No. No. It only protects you against some spells. All the different spells attack different defenses for some reason. Like, that one attacks will, not magic. That attacks magic. That attacks dodge. That attacks magic. That attacks dodge. Attacks endurance. Attacks dodge. Attacks magic. Attacks will. I mean, see, they just all attack whatever the fuck defense they want. There's no rhyme or reason to it. So really, the only way to be protected against everything is to have every single defense high, which is, as far as I can tell, essentially impossible. Alright, are we ready to talk to Ring Dropper Saratha? The second brother regards you with a cautious expression. The Fatebinder of Tunon, yes? Welcome to Lethian's Crossing. My name is Ringdropper Saratha, and I am Retomon's second brother. What can I do for you? I have to ask, where did Ringdropper come from? Saratha laughs and turns red. I earned the nickname during the night of my first victory with the Brotherhood. We decided to celebrate, and we drank. A lot. During the drinking and celebrating, Reitoman showed up. I was so nervous and drunk, seeing him, that I tripped, and all the rings I just earned scattered everywhere. I was terrified he was going to be mad about the drunkenness, but he just laughed it off and called me a ring dropper, and the name stuck. Wow, that's a great name. What are your thoughts on Reitamon? He sighs and considers her words for a bit before answering. He is efficient, she grimaces. He has become a little unstable lately, but so far he has yet to do anything to make me really worry. He's more paranoid than normal since there have been sightings of Kairos' scouts in the area, but I think anyone would feel threatened by that. Tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood in Lethian's Crossing. She raises her chin as she speaks. We are the largest and most battle-ready mercenary group in the Tiers. Lethian herself hired us to protect the settlers when she first founded the town, and this group has been here ever since. It's our home. Kairos' forces tried to remove us when they invaded, but we let them know we won't go lightly. Would you consider standing with others against Kairos' forces? I think that's a fantastic idea, but I have little say in anything final. As Reitomon's second brother, I can advise him, but that's as far as it goes. Welby, as first axe, has more sway with Reitomon than I ever would. Yes, and Welby wants to take Reitomon's job. And I want Welby to take Reitomon's job because Reitomon refuses to ally with us, and Welby wants to, so... Basically, Reitomon's a problem. I was hoping a little bit more was going to happen here with her, leading me towards, you know... But I guess not. Alright, well I guess that's all we can talk to her about right now.
I got it.
Let's see what else is here. Oh, this is Eldian's house. Perfect. Let's go in there. Perfect. Five little citizens jumping on the spire. One fell down and would soon expire. Two and I called the doctor, and the doctor said, no more citizens jumping on the spire. Nice, Knox. Aldine's... Wait, he's not here? Damn it. Oh, that means I can loot his stuff. Well, I guess I could loot his stuff even if he was here. I'm taking your cheese, Eldian. I'm taking it. I'm taking... Why do you have camping supplies in your bed? Why does he have camping supplies? Why does he have bundles of firewood and stuff in his bed? And healing pots. In before finding his corpse under the bed? Oh god. Well, I guess that's all that's in here. Aldian's house turned out to be not as exciting as one might hope. I wonder if it's because it's daytime. I wonder if you go in there at night, if Eldian is in there. Because when the person we talked to at the beginning of the town told us Eldian's probably in his house. That what's her name? That Saratha Ringdropper likes to stand around outside, but that Eldian's probably in his house. But see, it's 10 in the morning, so maybe 10 in the morning he's not in his house. I'm not sure. Okay. Good. That's the fake bedroll he put under the sheets so Ringdropper would think he's in bed while he's out doing his stuff. Nice. Seems legit. No one will ever take Lethian's Crossing from the Bronze Brotherhood. Skycap, an Azure Bell, and a Blood Moss. Ooh, I just found some hidden shit right here. In the rubble. What's up, settler? Travelers often stop by the market before they head out of town. Never know what you'll need. How do I... Oh, that's up on the next tier. Wait. Some free gems. I'll take them. Alright, so here's a building. Oh, here's some people with names. They look important. More camping supplies. Alright, we're gonna go in here. You liked it, should have dropped a ring on it. Nox. Yeah, I don't know. They do like to name people for their past misfortunes in the tiers, for sure. Who are you? Spiff, short for spinal bifida. Alright, we're gonna go in here next. But that's gonna be in our next episode. If you're watching the stream, I am not stopping. I am going to keep on playing. But, if you're watching on YouTube, that's going to do it for this episode. So thank you for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Tyranny.